the goal with building the studio was really to kind of handpick the best possible people to take Need for Speed into the future, to be honest. It's quite natural for us then to obviously work with Criterion, which, you know, in my opinion, makes really great Need for Speed games. And we could go down here and we could offer a really, you know, we had a good proposition about setting up a kind of stable EA studio, really positioned as a kind of startup feeling from it. You know, we were a few people in the beginning, growing, but we had the backing of EA, so kind of unique proposition from that point on.
Stable because it sells 11 million like the Underground series does every year still? Or stable because EA pumps next to nothing into it and still manages to make a profit, and if they don't, they'll sell DLC. Basically, reskinned cars.
You are collaborating with Criterion, and there's people over there who's working on the game as well. Can you tell us anything about how that collaboration is working?
Yeah, again, we started from scratch, but starting from scratch without, you know, the great experience that, you know, is within the company with Criterion would just be foolish. Obviously, you know, I consider those guys to be, you know, amongst the very best in the world to make the kinds of games we're making. So it would be foolish not to piggyback on that. There's a lot of you know, both people. You know, Craig Sullivan being the creative director for the game, who's obviously, you know, was the director obviously on Hot Pursuit and Most Wanted.
You were sort of bringing that sort of Need for Speed heritage to this new studio. What sort of made you come here to be a part of this?
Well, it's, you know, one, it's a cool place, but that's not the only reason. It's the fact that, you know, I'm a real big fan of Need for Speed. So I was the creative director on Hot Pursuit, and also the creative director on Most Wanted, back at Criterion. And when I heard the guys were setting up a studio and making a Need for Speed game out here, you know, Marcus I know very well. He's really pushing for quality and a fresh new take on Need for Speed. And I wanted to be involved with it, so I'm here on secondment at the moment, living full time in Gothenburg and working with the guys on Need for Speed Rivals. I think there's a philosophy at Criterion that the games have to be very high quality and have to be fun. I think, you know, the simple differences between Need for Speeds that had gone before and that Criterion had done is obviously, you know, we'd brought the Criterion DNA into the way that the car drives. So we're all about, you know, drifting at 150 miles an hour, laughing your ass off going around the corner, right? You know, and I think some of the Need for Speed models before that made that kind of slightly harder to do. Also, you know, Criterion's big on scoring and rewarding the player and just making it so that everything you do is very polished and always taking you through the game in a really kind of cool way. So, you know, that's something that's very close to my heart. It's something that's close to very close to Criterion's heart, and it's something that Marcus and the guys here at Ghost really wanted to embrace and take Need for Speed, you know, onto next generation in a cool way. So, you know, we have that fan base that is used to Hot Pursuit and Most Wanted, and we wanted to continue down the line of making something that is of a quality and an expectation you would have playing those games and now playing Need for Speed Rivals.
I mean, it seems like a whole new set of challenges that are brought on by having this sort of open approach to single player, multiplayer, anywhere, anytime. And how do you sort of bring it all together so that it's sort of like, because you still want to have that sort of multiplayer feeling of playing with your friends. How do you sort of bring it all together into one experience?
Well, one, it's not easy, right? You know, I think some games have played this, tried this before, and that's not just driving games. You know, there's the idea of you have to be very much in control of chaos, right? Because you have a load of humans together and a load of AI together. So unless you understand exactly what their motivations are and what they're doing, then, you know, it can be quite broken, to be honest. But so we've spent a long time playing AllDrive. We play every day in the office and have play tests where you know, a lot of players are playing together as cops or racers or a mixture of both, and really embracing some of the stuff that we learned from from Hot Pursuit and also from Most Wanted. Most Wanted was a very open game. It was very broad in its structure. Hot Pursuit, previous game was a little more linear and a little more controlled, and I think we're taking elements from both games and wrapping them up. So it is something that we really want people to experience. We want to get the game in people like your hands as quickly as possible, because it's something you haven't really experienced before.
Suspect vehicle over. The vehicle saw this over. I got him. Suspect vehicle is out.
So yes, it's complicated. It's a big challenge, but it's something we have up and running and is very fresh and unique take on Need for Speed. Well, first of all, the handling and physics setup in this game is very, very realistic. But what we do is we layer on top of that the ability to drift the car, really quickly around a corner and just have a lot of fun within 2 minutes of picking up the controller. So yes, we always start off with kind of very realistic, very believable physics, so that these cars can pretty much do anything, and it's it looks right. But then we layer on the kind of the Criterion special sauce of getting the camera right, getting the the drifting right, getting the feeling of the braking or the e-braking or the jumping or even just the collisions are very, very finely tuned. We know we're not making a simulation. We could make a simulation if we wanted to, but we know that in this type of game, for these guys that are racing and chasing as a cop and a racer, they want it to be something that's very it's easy to get into, but quite hard to master. And I think that's what we're always going to fall on the side of physics in our games. So we're going to be showing a lot more E3. I don't know if you're going or not. You should be going.
I am.
It's good. So, okay, so come and ask me the same question at E3. We're going to be showing the software there, which is going to be really cool.
Hi, and welcome to a new generation of Need for Speed. AllDrive delivers the unexpected, resulting in a non-stop edge-of-the-seat experience. And here to show you what that looks like is the Criterion creative director, Craig Sullivan, and Ghost Games lead designer, James Mouat.
I will fuck you up! Hey, fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you!
There seems to be no sign of intelligent
We're going to see what everybody else is doing as well on Next Gen. It's also going to be very cool.
You're goddamn right.
And remember, Need for Speed is the only game you can play cop and racer, which is fucking fun. Sorry.
Bullshit, you're a fucking dirty liar.
You see, that's an interesting question. The identity of Need for Speed is something that's changed. It's changed from a car simulator to very much an action game, to a cop game, to an arcade game, to a simulator, back to a cop game again. It's been through a long journey. What's the true identity of Need for Speed now, building on it now? Is it open world? Is it going to be team-based play, online community stuff? Where are we going to take this?
So I think you need to look into why has it changed a lot. It's obviously been done by different studios. It's been jumping studios between different years, different engines. Yeah. A lot of wasted work there actually, just simply because you need to build the same car twice. Whereas now we're obviously on Frostbite 3 and we can build upon that. Is it always going to be open world? Probably. Is it always going to have cops and racers? Probably.
Is it going to have autolog? Probably. Is it going to have AllDrive, the system that we're going to be talking about? Probably. Will it have, deeper and deeper customization? Absolutely.